Hey, ¿qué pasa? Thanks for checking out my hike. I think I recognize you. Yeah, you've been on my hike before. Welcome back. Today, if you'd like to know, we are hiking north right now. I'm all about awareness of direction. You know, I like to know where north, south, east, west is. I always do. It's kind of like a built-in thing for me because I know where the positioning of the sun is, you know, off of that. And I can just look at the sun and know my position. You don't want to look at it too long though, because then, you know, you won't know where you're going because everything will be black for the rest of your life. Just saying. But wait. Okay, might be going the wrong way here. I'm sorry. That's kind of embarrassing. I'm looking. Okay, the position of the sun must be off. I don't think that's in the right place. Okay, let's. Yeah, I think we're good. I think this might be good. Okay, well, it's going to be a good hike. So strap on your GPS, bring your compass, pull up those spanks, and why don't we go take a hike? My hiking buddy today is a very popular and funny comedian, has been for a long time. He's also a voice actor. You might have heard his voice in the Pixar film Planes. He does other films too, a lot of films, and a lot of stand-up. I mean, he is constantly touring and selling out venues, even sold out Madison Square Garden. All right, today we are hiking with the very funny, the very busy, Mr. Dane Cook. I noticed when I pulled up, you have that big Jeep, man.
Yes.
That's like a muscle Jeep, is that what they call them?
It's like a transformer. It runs on failure. I've had enough of that stockpile that I can fuel it forever.
So Dane, you're dating a younger woman.
Yes.
I read, like 20 years younger than you?
Yeah.
20. And you know, some people make us think about that, but if they're mature, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, that's the funny thing. It's like I have way more energy. She's like an old lady. She's just like kind of old school in that, you know, she likes to chill and homebody. Both of us don't, you know, drink. We're not like party people. Yeah. So there's something that happened there that I didn't expect, and I certainly wasn't looking for, but when it clicks, you know, man, it's like when it clicks, you just gotta lean into it.
Is she cool with you going out to clubs and going on tour and stuff?
Oh yeah, she comes a lot too.
She does.
She's a musician, so she can work on her stuff while we're...
It's not Billie Eilish, is it?
No, it's not.
When you bring up like an actor's name,
she has no clue.
She has no clue.
Yeah, most of the time she's like, I'm like, oh, I did this movie with Kevin Costner. She's like, who is he? What does he do? I'm like, Field of Dreams. She's like, yeah, I've never seen that either. But you know what the good thing is too? It's like, well, she also doesn't know anything really about my high highs or low lows until I've showed her or told her. Yeah. You know, so it's kind of like a weird do-over, you know? Get to be with somebody who's not coming in judging you or has a preconceived notion of who you are.
I saw your act a couple nights ago at the Comedy Store. I hadn't seen you in a while, and it's a lot of fun new stuff. You know, you're such a storyteller. You set everything up, and then there's a big payoff usually. You know what I mean?
For me, it was always, I love the storyteller. Like I listen to Bob Newhart albums, or of course, guys like you know, Cosby himself was a big thing when I was in 8th grade. And that was just, you know, long form storytelling.
His albums aren't selling that well now. You came along at a time. It was kind of pre-alt alternative comedy, you know.
Well, the alt thing was certainly happening in Boston.
Oh, was it? Okay, yeah. Maybe then it was after that.
Well, David Cross was in Boston with Garofalo and all them, and they were starting to really make a name for themselves.
They were like the impressionist painters of comedians, right?
Yeah. And they were really quickly, when I first started doing open mics, I was realizing that, like, oh, there was a new kind of performance that was not as reliant on, you know, killing or, you know, I crushed, but more about being vulnerable and somewhat introspective and abstract and absurd as well.
Yeah, and a little more confessional too, right?
Right. You know, but then there was this whole rift for a while, and I got thrown in it too, which was like alt versus mainstream. Yeah. These guys are trying to make people laugh, and we're just trying to... We're different. We're in our own unique lane. We're not pushing it so hard to pander, and but it's interesting because I love that was the kind of comedy to me that was like taking your foot off the gas. Yeah. And as a guy that was, you know, always kind of pushing forward, I wanted to inject that in. So when I started working with Chappelle, when I was, 19, he was, 16? And he was already teaching me things, and I think a lot of comics, about, like, take your foot off the gas once in a while. It's okay to, like, think and slow down.
Yeah, silence is not bad.
Yeah. As long as there's something at the end of it.
But also, you were notable because you were really the first one to optimize social media. Took advantage of MySpace. You had a lot of followers.
Yeah.
So they knew when you were coming to town.
Yeah. I saw that formula starting to work, and I really genuinely loved it. I was not unhappy leaving shows at night, not partying, and going home and chatting with people online because I had social anxiety anyway.
Yeah.
So,
really?
Yeah, bad.
You still have it?
Yeah, I'm really good at flipping that switch and being okay that I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
When I'm doing meet and greets and stuff with people, I start to feel it. There's something though that's so liberating about, like, knowing we have a bit of a magic power when we get on stage. We get to feel okay, and you get to feel okay as an audience.
Yeah.
It's just what's going to be waiting there for you when you get off stage is always a little bit ominous. Oh man, I have another 23 hour and 45 minutes of the day that I have to figure out how to be happy and well adjusted. So it took me a minute. I caught up to myself eventually, but I was just fortunate that digital age was happening at a time when I appreciated a little isolation after shows. Now I didn't need to be so by myself because I could be connecting with fans. Andy Warhol was like 15 minutes of fame, and now it's like 3 clicks of fame.
Do you ever go back to your MySpace and just kind of say, sorry guys, man, I've moved on to other places? Anybody left there?
I don't know if anybody's still hanging out. Even Tom took off. It's like, it's a wasteland now. For one moment in my life, it was like a turnstile. It's like, come on in. This was the...
Oh my God, it was so powerful, man. You were just one of a handful of comics that, played Madison Square Garden, sold that out.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's tough to keep that level of, popularity and demand, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So much more work comes with that after high. How are you?
Hey there.
There's cougars and snakes up there.
There's a couple of mountain lions by there.
Yeah. 3.
No.
No, we're just kidding.
There's 2 of them.
Yeah.
We're comedians. I always love it when somebody that auditioned for SNL didn't get it and they come back and now they're hosting it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even audition.
I thought you were like up for Sandler's role.
They wanted me to. They asked me to come in.
You said, I'm not auditioning.
I got an anxiety attack on my way to the thing.
No way.
And I sat in front of the plaza on a bench, and I literally had like I was crying outside of there.
Oh man.
And I couldn't go in. I couldn't do it. So not to say I would have got it, because I think Fallon obviously was very talented, and we were both out there. So. I mean,
was
roll of the dice.
Too? Was he scared?
He was not. He walked right past me. He goes, "I got it."
I'm in.
I just called my manager and said, "I can't do it." And he said, he goes, "Why? I've got other clients on the show, and you've been over there." And I said, "Because I know what the political environment is behind the scenes there, and I'm not confrontational, and I'm scared."
Were you nervous when you're hosting it?
I was nervous when I was behind that door, and I heard Don Pardo, who is still there, go. He's going through the whole cast list, and then I heard him say, "Ladies and gentlemen, Dane Cook," and I felt my heart like expand, like it was gonna explode.
He's so old, it's a good thing he didn't call you Dame Cook.
Dame Cook would have actually...
Dame Cook!
That would have taken me out of the nerves, because it was like, oh, okay,
yeah,
I can roll with Dame Cook. Every memory of that, Kevin, is like, that was the moment where literally everything was at its peak pinnacle of just happy. And
what year was that?
It was like 05, and then I hosted again in 06.
Yeah. So and you were in a happy spot then.
Everything, family, healthy, happy, everybody's good. I'm finding this level of success. I'm a welfare kid from Boston, and I'm finally able to take care of my family. So it was just an embarrassment of riches at that point, I just knew after a 8 to 10 year run in a business where the shelf life isn't typically that long, that I was gonna have to start thinking about like Act 2. I'm getting older. I'm not like catering to the same crowd. when you're younger, it's like you're just basically talking about the three things that people relate to: partying, sex, breakups. True. You're not talking about now I'm talking about love. I'm talking about loss, trauma, talking about my anxiety, being able to own those other things that maybe aren't as interesting to a 20-year-old crowd. I kind of feel like I did when I first broke through, because now I'm coming with this successful tour and things that are being asked of me up and coming that I'm more prepared for than I was the first time around.
Yeah, you're really seasoned now. What's the name of the tour?
Tell It Like It Is.
Tell It Like It Is.
That's it.
You did my show at the Laugh Factory, I guess a couple years ago.
Yeah.
You were talking about how you were hated by so many people.
Yeah.
And that totally took me by surprise, because I'm not in the clubs all the time, and I don't know what's going on.
Right.
And so I was surprised, because you're a funny guy. You seem likable. Was it a competitive thing, other comics?
I think so. I mean, it took me a minute to realize, oh wow, it's not just me. I think most people are experiencing this same kind of feeling of being ostracized. That whole thing too, man, of like feeling animosity.
Yeah.
It's just like I kind of had a breakthrough moment a few years ago, probably around the time I was doing that material.
Yeah.
And as I started kind of breaking it down with my peers, I was realizing it was just insecurity. It was just.
On your part or other
Yeah,
people?
on mine.
Did you get therapy for that?
I did.
That helped?
I did. Oh man, greatest. Loved it.
Good, man.
Really dove in too. And it's funny because when I watched Gary Shandling's documentary, and I was so moved by everybody, everybody's perspective, and I was like an admirer from afar. I really felt bummed that I never was kind of in the circle to get to experience him, but I was really moved by that, and I felt like in a kind of a cool way that it was giving me that through that documentary and what I learned, it was giving me the okay to be even more real.
Be real, open, present, all that stuff.
I've seen you on YouTube.
No way. What did you think?
Oh my God, I'm not coming now, am I?
No, you don't have to be on. I won't put you on.
No, my brother watches you.
Watching
Yeah,
it?
I'm gonna start watching it.
All right, the Dane Cook right here.
All right, enjoy the hike.
All right, take care.
She doesn't know either one of our names. I love this trail, man. I've never been. It's like Hawaii kind
So
of.
beautiful. Look at it.
You went through a scandal too.
I did. I always wanted a scandal. Fuck.
And I can't remember. Was it your brother or your cousin or somebody?
Yeah, I had a brother who was my business manager.
Yeah.
And he wasn't really managing my business so much as just taking my business for himself.
I mean, he kind of absconded a lot of money, right?
Like everything. And pretty much my whole life savings was.
How did you find out it was him, and what did you say?
I found out relatively quickly. I was moving to LA full time. I was buying a house.
Yeah.
So that meant I had to move my business from Massachusetts, since I was going to be a resident in California.
Yeah.
And long story short, he wasn't having that. There's a lot of pushback.
He didn't want to come to California.
He didn't want to do anything. He didn't want to move the business to California, nothing. So when I had my attorneys and stuff say they're going to call and help you. They're going to help you. I thought I was helping him. We're going to help you and we're going to get this done and this done. And then it just went belly up, and it kind of all came to light within 24 hours.
So where's your brother now?
I honestly, I don't know.
You don't keep your estranged from him?
Served his time, and
he went to prison?
Yeah.
Wow.
He got 8 years. His wife got many years too.
How did you feel about that?
I felt like I was at when I got past the initial betrayal and shock. I felt like I was starting the stretch of an amazingly wonderful time in my life, because now this weird negative force was gone.
Yeah.
So it was that next couple of years was like truly me feeling like I'm doing this all on my own.
Did you feel guilty that he was in prison?
No.
Did he ever call and apologize?
No.
Jesus.
No.
Is he an accountant now?
I don't know what he does. I don't know what he does.
That's like the ultimate betrayal.
Yeah, I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy. It was tough.
Dane, you got big a couple years ago. You started working out, started lifting.
Yeah, started enjoying life a little bit more.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of those years it's that whole vanity of Hollywood thing.
Sure.
When you're having your moment, you're like, I need to stay in peak condition 24 hours a day all year round. And it's like, it felt good to finally be able to be my actual weight.
Do you ever worry about the getting too big where it's distracting for the comedy?
No, because I've never worked out to the point of where I feel like I'm in that kind of The Rock. I'm just naturally broad-shouldered, so I think sometimes people think I'm a little more jacked. I'll never not do stand-up, even if I, you know, am doing anything else.
I noticed on your website, for your tour, people can get discounted tickets. Does that mean that's a night when you just do your B material? Or they're out in the lawn seats?
It just depends on the venue, you know what I mean? If it's the difference between playing the Fox Theater, you know, an established, old school, but, you know, gorgeous house, versus like if you're doing like a Casino-Rama, where, you know, it's going to be a little bit more rough and tumbly, but it's just as good a show, if not a great show, but now you're in a region where people maybe don't have those dollars. So I try to make it easy for my fans to see me in any kind of environment in a price range that's going to be
That's a good idea.
Yeah. You know, that word goes around quickly, man. If you're gouging people and you're like overcharging, then that's not going to bode well for the next time you roll through town.
I know. That's why I keep my tickets under $5.
That's
You're not charging over that, are you?
That's a curious amount. That's when people go, I don't know, it's $5. Should we even do this?
How are you with like storage? Do you have a storage unit, or do you have enough room in your house?
Yeah, I have storage. No, I have storage unit. And I have a garage that's like basically a storage unit.
How often do you go to the storage unit?
Like every year I'll need something out of there and I'll head over.
Is it stuff you think is it nostalgic stuff, or is it stuff like Christmas decorations and stuff?
No, it's it's a lot of stuff from early on in my career, you know, things that I just wouldn't keep in my house or put up, but you don't want to get rid of, you know? So basically just like A-list trash.
Right. If I were to go to your house, and I walked in there, would there be a lot of Dane Cook pictures on the wall?
No, there's nothing.
Would there be one room maybe with a poster or some albums?
Yeah, my office has a bunch of cool stuff on the wall.
Yeah.
And even that stuff wasn't put up until my sister got a bunch of it out of storage and put it up. I'm just not a look back person as much. Yeah. But yeah, I got a few cool items in my office.
Does your sister talk to your brother?
No.
No,
nobody.
Nobody.
Hey.
How you doing?
Right.
We're just talking about you. Nothing. Crickets.
Nothing.
Crickets. I go to Austin like once a year to do a club.
Yeah.
And this DJ there, Dale Dudley, he's like the Howard Stern of Austin.
Okay.
I've been doing his show for years. And we usually go out for lunch like that day or the next day he comes to the show. We went out to lunch about 5 months ago. And he goes, I gotta tell you something. I'm noticing that you're not getting recognized as much anymore. I said, you know what? I didn't think about that, but you're right. You're right. Do you enjoy getting recognized still?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really...
I mean, does that happen?
Yeah.
Thank you, Dane Cook. Sorry. What if that really annoyed him? People had done that a lot to him in the past, and it was like a thing since grammar school, and it just set him off, and he just couldn't wait to get off the hike today. He was seething. I don't think so. You gotta check out his tour. Tell it like it is. Go to his website, get some tickets, get the discount tickets. So what? They're folding chairs. Yeah, you can't see that well, but still, a good price, man. All right, thanks for following along. Please subscribe, turn on notifications. We'll catch you next time. Happy trails.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dane Cook.